Hello and a warm welcome to World This Week by latestlaws.com. This is a weekly program, so hit the bell icon to get notifications for new videos. My name is Sheetal Joon, Associate Editor, latestlaws.com. And let's reflect on important Supreme Court decision in the past days. The Supreme Court has held that quashing of a criminal complaint must be done only in the rarest of rare cases, and it is still the duty of the High Court to look into each and every case with great detail to prevent miscarriage of justice. The division judge bench of Justice Krishna Murari and Justice Ravindra Bhatt stated that law is a sacrosanct entity and that exists to serve the ends of justice, and the courts, as protector of the law and servants of the law, must always ensure that the frivolous cases do not pervert the sacrosanct nature of the law. Another division judge bench of Justice S. Abdul Nazir and Justice J.B. Pardiwala, while noting that there would have to be some act or omission which amounts to organized crime after the Maharashtra Control of Organized Act came into force, in respect of which the accused is sought to be tried for the first time in the special court, held that if organized crime was synonym with continuing unlawful activity, two separate definitions were not necessary. The definitions themselves indicate that the ingredient of use of violence in such activity with the object of gaining pecuniary benefit are not included in the definition of continuing unlawful activity but find place only in the definition of organized crime, the court clarified. The Apex Court has held that the weight and utility of a dying declaration depends upon the surrounding circumstances and the credibility to which the court attaches to it, having regard to the evidence laid before it. Therefore, whether it is essential to have medical certification before the statement is recorded, who records it, etc., are fact-dependent and no stereotypical approach can be adopted by courts, the court observed. The Supreme Court has expounded that in a situation where a premium is accepted, the precondition of medical examination stands waived. In such circumstances, a concluded contract governs the parties, and when such a claim is repudiated, the same was held to be case of deficiency of services in a concluded insurance contract, a division judge bench of Justice K.M. Joseph and Justice Harishikesh Roy ruled. Next we have Delhi High Court. The single judge bench of Delhi High Court, consisting of Justice Pratibha M. Singh, has held that in a writ petition, the question as to whether there was negligence or not cannot be gone into, and as much as the same would require ascertainment of various facts. Another single judge bench of Delhi High Court, consisting of Justice Jasmeet Singh, has held that once the magistrate passes an order directing the investigation, it is not open to the police to raise objection regarding territorial jurisdiction. Dismissing a petition seeking quashing of a service dismissal order on account of charges under corruption, the Delhi High Court has held that once a person has surrendered to the court custody, that is considered deemed arrest and shall remain in the custody of the court till further orders. The Delhi High Court is set to answer the question as to whether the High Court under Article 226 has the power to grant furlough during the pendency of an appeal in the Supreme Court of India. In the writ petition so filed, a series of questions has been raised in terms of Delhi Prison Rules 2018. In ironing out conditions for grant of interim bail on medical grounds, the Delhi High Court has ruled that the discretion may not be exercised only at a stage when the person is breathing last or is in the position that he may not survive. Whatever the crime, a person's health is vital, and custody during the period of investigation cannot be termed to be punitive in nature, the court opined, and added that state and judiciary must monitor a prisoner's health, as every person deserves effective medical care. Article 21 of the Constitution grants the right to live with dignity, which includes the right to have a healthy life. If sufficient care is available in the jail, that convicts should receive it, the court observed. The single judge bench of Justice C. Hari Shankar, while dealing with a case of prima facie copyright infringement, has directed to block access to the website which uses Louis Vuitton's photographs without permission. Now let's have an overview of other high courts. Electricity is a basic human necessity and an integral part of the right to life under Article 21 of the Constitution. The Punjab and Haryana High Court has held, while directing the Haryana power officials to restore the connection of a shopkeeper logged in a property dispute with his landlord. The court stressed the fact that the dispute is a pending final adjudication. Until then, the tenant cannot be deprived of the facility if he pays for it. Magistrate, judges and other presiding officers are not above the law and they have to face consequences for disrelocation of duty, the Kerala High Court ruled while ordering suspension of a Chief Judicial Magistrate of Lakshadweep for allegedly forging evidence in a criminal trial to convict an accused. Let this be a lesson for all, the court said. The Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh High Court, comprising of Justice Sanjay Dhar, has ruled that the provision of the National Investigation Agency Act 2008 do not prohibit the investigation of scheduled offences which include the offences under UAPA by local investigating agencies. The Calcutta High Court has held that denying right to Stridhan or related financial assets to widow is an equivalent to domestic violence against them. As per law, Stridhan is all movable, immovable property, gifts, etc. a woman receives during or prior to marriage, at the time of marriage, during childbirth and widowhood. Delivering the verdict in a case related to Stridhan, a single-judge bench of Justice Subhendu Samanta ruled that denying a widow of her rights to any financial assets, including Stridhan, is equivalent to domestic violence. The Indore bench of Madhya Pradesh High Court, while dismissing petition against trial court order directing petitioners to file separate suit against all defendants for specific performance of the contract and value them separately, clarified that in case of enforcing an agreement of sale for specific performance between the two parties, the remaining ones are not necessary parties, and therefore the trial court has the power to order for filing of separate suits. Moving on to miscellaneous news. Amid fears of a surge in COVID-19 in the country, the Uttarakhand High Court has made it mandatory for anyone entering the court premises to wear a mask. As per the notification, the registrar has also instructed for continuous sanitization of all courtrooms and not to allow crowding inside the court. The provisions of domestic violence law, which protects even an aggressive woman from being removed from a shareholder household, stands challenged in the Delhi High Court. Centre and National Commission for Women's response has been sought in petition filed by a 17-year-old alleging harassment at the hands of her daughter-in-law. The Delhi High Court has clarified that services under the National Capital Territory of Delhi necessarily the service of the centre. The statement was made by the court while dismissing a petition challenging the termination of a person from the post of Secretary of the Delhi Legislative Assembly. Justice Chandradhari Singh observed that there was evidently no State Public Service Commission in Delhi, and under the Constitution, a post can be created in the City Legislative Assembly with the approval of the Lieutenant Governor, who is the competent authority for this purpose. 3 essential Constitution Scheduled Tribe Order Amendment Bills have been passed in the Parliament during the winter session for the states of Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The Telangana High Court issued a circular directing the entire district judiciary to refrain from celebrating or organizing any kind of religious function or ceremonies inside court premises. It has been stated in the circular that it has recently been brought to the court's notice that religious functions and ceremonies were being organized in court premises of district courts. Interestingly, the Registrar General has cited a circular going way back to May 1987 and one recent from May 2020 by which the judicial officers in the state were instructed not to use court premises for religious functions, and courts and judges were asked to avoid organizing religious functions. A Mumbai court has ordered that a 32-year-old woman must be paid a compensation of Rs 1 lakh and a monthly amount of Rs 15,000 by her estranged husband, who turned out to be gay, for trauma, distress and emotional abuse. The woman had complained that their marriage was not consummated and that her husband, a government employee, was having an affair with a man. In the end, we have international news. Pakistan has adopted an amendment to the colonial era criminal law to abolish the punishment for attempted suicide. Pakistan's parliament had repealed provision of Pakistan Penal Code 1860 about penalizing attempted suicides. Under the said section, suicide or attempted suicide was an offence punishable by 1 year of imprisonment, fine or both. A Chinese court has recently decided in a contractual disputes case that a non-fungible token (NFT) is a virtual asset. Moreover, the transaction of such a digital commodity is subject to the regulatory rules in the e-commerce law of the People's Republic of China. The United Nations General Assembly has asked the International Court of Justice to give an opinion on the legal consequences of Israel's occupation of the Palestinian territories. Israel captured West Bank, Gaza and East Jerusalem area the Palestinians want for a state in 1967 war. It withdrew from Gaza in 2005, but along with neighboring Egypt, controls the enclave borders. A court in military-ruled Myanmar has convicted the country's ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi for corruption, sentencing her to 7 years in prison in the last of a string of criminal cases against her. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. This is a weekly program, and to get more information, please check the description box, and for weekly updates, like and subscribe to our channel.